Welcome to the first battle of the Taros Air War campaign. You'll notice if you went through my last campaign that I got rid of that annoying machine gun noise. I think it irritated me more than anybody else. For those who don't know, this is going to be a solo campaign as I'm expecting another lockdown any day now. Thank you very much, COVID. Meanwhile, I hope you enjoyed the battle report, and if you have some feedback for me, any feedback is good feedback at this point. So, a brief overview on this campaign. I wrote up some detailed house rules for the campaign. You can find a detailed description in the previous video, Zero Campaign Briefing. I'll put a link in the description, or here if I can figure out how. I've never put in a direct link within a video before. Going to give the squadrons 350 points, as the largest mission maxes out at 250 points. That means at 350 points, the squadrons can contain extra aircraft and have a reserve fund if they want it. Please note, squadron points do not include ground defenses. I was going to use only Taros aircraft, but Imperials don't have any bombers listed in the Taros campaign book. So Imperial forces will have to borrow from Rindsworld. If I think they need it later, I may borrow some Thunderbolts as well. Finally, going to have to use 12 hex wide by 9 hex long map sections for the rolling area of engagement. It's the easiest way to handle the map situation. GW doesn't make them by default, and I don't have any custom maps that I can use for this rule. The other option I realized after I wrote up this issue in the previous campaign, I haven't tried it yet, but you could use 4 sections of 12 by 9, which would be the same length as 3 sections of 12 by 12. Finally, instead of the automatically going first when I roll for initiative like I did in the last campaign, I will do my best to be as objective as possible and make the best decision for whichever side won the initiative roll. Too many times in the last campaign, the winner of the roll-off obviously would not have wanted to go first, but because of how I laid out the rules, they had to, and it really hurt them overall. So this time, rolling highest in the initiative roll does not automatically mean they're going to go first. So the mission is Ambush, and the ambush scenario is from the Skies of Fire box set as part of the starter scenario set. It's a little 4-page pamphlet that's included in the box set. Mission is for forces between 50 and 100 points. I just decided to play it at 100 points. Due to the cost of some fighters, it made the most sense. I'll pick out lists first, then roll to see who gets to be the attacker and who gets to be the defenders. The mission specifies only fighters and bombers are allowed, so no Remora drones or Arvis lighters. Not that I had any lighters, but those are the restrictions. Defenders will take and deploy first within 6 hexes of the center of the table, traveling at any speed or altitude they desire, while attackers will have to come in from any board edge, any altitude, but must be at maximum speed. Attacker will get the initiative for turn 1. That means the attacker, whomever it is, gets to decide who moves first. And remember, in this game, whoever moves first gets to shoot first. The game will have its standard 12 turn limit, not that I've ever seen a game take that long, or if one side is forced to disengage, or if only the defenders are left on the table. And the victory conditions are based on standard victory points allocation. So for the first mission, I decided Imperials should use a mix of lightnings and lightning strikes. The only difference between the two is the main armament. Lightnings have 2 las cannons, lightning strikes have 2 multi-lasers. Lasers are more powerful, more likely to damage, but have fewer shots to the multi-lasers, which have more shots, but are less powerful and less likely to damage an aircraft. All Imperial fighters are Speed 8, Maneuver 7, and Throttle 3. They are glass cannons with only 2 structure points each, but are amongst the more maneuverable aircraft in the game. As they only have one main weapon, I'm worried the Lightning and Lightning Strike fighters may not do as well against the Tau Barracudas, who have a minimum of 2 weapons each, but in this campaign I gave them all 3, by including the weapon drones. Sort of wondering, maybe I should have brought some missiles for the Lightnings to give them the extra options. For the Tau, we're going to try to do the Barracudas only this time. I was tempted to bring in a Tiger Shark, but I thought I would prefer the maneuverability of the Barracudas in an ambush. With afterburners, the Barracudas match the Imperials for altitude, maneuverability, and throttle, but only have a maximum speed of 7 to the Imperials' 8. And as I had to purchase an afterburner to match that performance, not to mention the weapons drone, Tau are looking at more expensive aircraft, meaning fewer fighters. However, for the cost, the Barracuda will have 3 weapon systems each. The main gun, either rail, ion, or burst cannons, plus missile pods, both of which are stuck with the front arc, and the optional weapon drones. The drones are nice as they can shoot in a 360-degree arc, allowing to shoot targets in the front arc as well as outside the arc, potentially allowing multiple targets per turn. Hopefully this will allow the Tau an equalizer with their 3 aircraft versus the Imperial 4 aircraft in this mission. Here we are about to commence the first mission of the campaign. 100 points of Imperial Navy. We have 2 Lightnings with laser cannons. Those are numbers 1 and 2. And 2 Lightning Strikes with multi-lasers. Those are numbers 3 and 4. That's the purpose of the black dice. Please forgive me, I haven't finished painting my fighters yet, but I just needed to get a game in at this point. Meanwhile, over on the other side for the Tau, we have 3 Barracuda. The 2 red ones are the original railgun, and the one with the little green markings on the tip, that one has a burst cannon. All the Imperial fighters are stock. The only thing extra they have is infrared, so that'll have no difference on this game. The Tau aircraft, on the other hand, all have afterburners and infrared to help them move a little bit faster and hopefully keep up with the Imperial fighters. So high number will get to be the choose to whether to be attacker or defender. The white dice will be Tau, the blue dice will be the Imperial Navy, and it looks like Tau has the choice. Tau will decide to be the attacker. It just makes more sense to have that advantage at this point in time. So here's the deployment. The Imperial Navy fighters, as defenders, have to deploy within 6 hexes of the center, which is the red dice there. I decided to keep them fairly close together, so in theory they can support themselves. They can be traveling at any speed or altitude. All the planes are traveling at speed 5. The 2 Lightnings at the back are at altitude 3, and the Lightning Strikes in the front I've set to altitude 4, just to give some variation on the mission. The Barracudas, the far right and left fighters are the railgun variants, and the one in the far side is our burst cannon variant. They have to come on at full speed, which for them with the afterburners is actually speed 7. I'm bringing them all on at altitude 3, and that's the beginning of our prep. Because the Tau are the attackers, they get initiative, which means they get to decide who goes first. Person who moves first gets to shoot first. But in this case, it makes more sense for the Tau to make the Imperials move first. So we're going to start off first with this Lightning Strike with the multi-lasers, and he's chosen to do a turn. Now, I'm going to leave him at speed 5 and altitude 4 for now. And we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn twice and go to 5. For the Imperials, we'll start with this one. He's doing maneuver 6, which is a stoop. And I think we'll take and drop him from 7 down to 5. Actually, I'm going to drop him to 4. With his afterburners, he actually has an acceleration deceleration of 3. So down to 4. I'm going to keep him at altitude 3. Turn. Actually, I'm going to bring him to altitude 4. We'll see what happens here. So turn, 1, 2, 3. Turns once, 4, and then he can turn this way. At this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, he's at medium range, same altitude, going head to head with that strike. That could be a mistake. Next Imperial move, we'll take and do another turn with the other lightning strike. He's at speed 5. I don't think there's much I can do other than repeat what I did. So staying at altitude 4, turning 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn twice and go 5. So he's at speed 5, altitude 4. And we did another stoop over here. And same thing, I'm going to drop him from 7 down to 4. Or sorry, I'm going to, oh, I did that wrong. Oh well. Yeah, we'll take him to 4 for now. And turn 1, 2, 3. Turn 4. Turn again. And actually, because he climbed, he should drop from 4 down to speed 3. I'll have to go back and fix the speed on the other guy. Forgot when you're climbing, you lose a speed. That leaves our regular lightnings with the las cannons. Now he chose to do a bank. And I'm sort of regretting that now. But he's at speed 5. Let's see. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn 5. And now he has to turn at least twice, so 1, 2. Unfortunately, that won't get him into the front arc there. But he's got a good range of fire over here, waiting to see what happens with this tau. So, final tau movement, he's actually doing a turn himself. He's at speed 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we'll try that. So he's turning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He will make his 2 hex side turn. Now, this doesn't look good for forward arc, but he does have the weapon pylons, so he'll be able to shoot sideways. And that leaves our last lightning. He's doing a 7 as well, which is the bank. Speed 5. So I'm going to try something different here. Turn 1, 2, 3. Turn 4. And leave him there. Turn once, twice. 5, and that'll leave him there. We don't need that red dice anymore. And that should give me a good arc onto that last fighter. So for the first Imperial activation, we're going to have the lightning strike here, number 4, attack this Barracuda with the railgun because they're on the same altitude and same range, medium range. Now the lightning strike is using scatter laser, I believe. It gets 6 shots, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. And we've got 2 hits so far. Get rid of the rest. Needing 5s again to damage. No damage for the lightning against the Barracuda. For the Tao's first activation, we're going to operate Barracuda number 2, firing on the lightning strike number 3. Again, because they're head-to-head. They're both at medium range. They're both at the same altitude. The railgun at this range has 2 shots, needing 5s to hit, 2 to damage, and a 6 will do extra damage. And the railgun misses both shots. However, he also has missile pods. This range, it's 3 shots, needing 5s to hit, 4s to damage. Oh, and we got 1 hit so far. And we will do damage. Unfortunately, there's no extra damage with the missile pod. And finally, because I bought the burst cannon drones, he gets another 3 shots with the burst cannon, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. Oh, another hit. Can he do the damage? And he does. Lightning strike only has 2 structure points. So that's it for the lightning, and it's the first Imperial casualty and the first successful shot by the Imperials, or sorry, by the Tau. Next Imperial activation, we're going to have the lightning with las cannons. Number 2, he's going to take a shot at the Barracuda, which just got a kill. At this range, he gets 2 shots with his las cannons, hitting on 5s, damaging on 2s, extra damage on a 6. So, 2 shots. Oh, that's not good. 2 hits for the lightning, 2 plus to damage, and both damage. That'll be taking care of the Barracuda because it only had 2 structure points. So the Barracuda that got the kill is already killed. Next Tau activation, we're going to go with the burst cannon Barracuda, and he's going to go after the lightning that shot down his buddy on the other side of the map. Now, because he's got burst cannons, he's hitting on 5s and damaging on 5s, but at medium range, he's 7 hexes away, he gets 6 shots. So 5s and 5s. Ooh, 3 hits for the Barracuda. Can he do the same thing that the lightning did? And that would be no. None of the burst cannon shots hit. However, he does have 3 shots with his missile pods. Again, 5s to hit, 4s to damage. No hits with the missile pod. And finally, he does have the burst cannon drones. I'm tempted to shoot one of the other targets, and I think maybe I will. So we'll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's in medium range, and that's the regular lightning. And he's at same altitude, so it's still 5s to hit and 5s to damage. And if I'm lucky, I'll take him out. Well, we got a single hit so far. Can we damage him? Nope, he'll fail to damage. So burst cannon variant flubbed everything. Normally this would be the Imperial activation, but this last lightning has no angle anywhere to anybody that's still flying, so he has to forfeit his turn basically. Which leaves us the last Barracuda. Now he's in perfect range for either of these. I'm going to go after the one with the scatter laser. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's at medium range, which is perfect. So with the railgun, he gets 2 shots, needing 5s to hit, 2s to damage, 6 to extra damage. Both hit. And just double checking, yeah, they're both at altitude 4, so it's 5s to hit. So 2 plus to damage and 6 does extra damage. And believe it or not, that's usually what happens when I hit with a railgun. Both failed to damage. So let's try the missile pods. Again, 3 shots, 5s to hit, 4s to damage. They all miss. And finally, the burst cannon drones. Again, 5s to hit, 5s to damage. Hit once. And again, another 1. So that will end the shooting for turn 1. So far, it's 1 kill each for the Tau and the Imperial Navy. So here we are. Orders are given for turn 2. We just got to roll to see who has the initiative. And blue for Imperials, white for Tau. Draw. One more time. And it looks like Tau get the initiative. The temptation is to let them shoot first, but it helps with maneuvering if I make the Imperials move first. So Tau will make the Imperials move and shoot first. So for the Imperials, first move we're going to do is this fighter here. He's doing a snap turn. Now he's presently altitude 3, speed 5. I think I'm just going to bump him up to speed 7. Going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and he's going to turn back the way he came. The real rationale is I just want him to get out of the way and hopefully waste one of the Tau's turns. So for the first Tau activation, let's do the burst cannon guy. He's actually doing a turn as well. So how best to do this? He's doing 7, that's altitude 3. He's at altitude 3, he's at 3. He's at 4 still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'll do that. So turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn twice. Beautiful tailing position. Unfortunately, I know this fighter has yet to move. So all things being equal, let's move this guy first. He's doing a bank, and he's presently altitude 3, speed 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And okay. I'm going to increase him to speed 7, I think. No, just to speed 6. And we'll stay at altitude 3 for now. He's going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn once, 6. And he can turn 2 arcs. So, plane 1, plane 2. That'll take care of his move. So he's got a good coverage in this area here. That leaves our last Barracuda. And wouldn't you know it, he's doing a bank as well. Now he's traveling speed 3 right now. I can get him up to 6. Do I want to? One, 2, 3. Oh, he still has to move. Moral dilemmas. I'm going to increase him to speed. Yeah, I'm going to increase him to speed 5, 6, 7. 3 to 6. He can write in. He's only got acceleration of 3. So, turning first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he will turn 2 hex sides, and that splits the arc. He'll be able to shoot at this lightning. Now we just got to see what our last lightning is going to do, and he's doing the same thing, another bank. Now he's traveling speed 5. And how do I want to do this one? If I go this way, I'm going to end up in his front arc. Don't really want to do that. But I think it's actually my best option at this point because I have the numbers. So, speed 5, turning 1, 2, 3, turn once, 4, 5, and he can now turn 2 hex sides, and he'll just clip him in the tailing arc. He won't be properly tailing because he's not fully inside the arc, but it gives him a good advantage. And that'll take care of movement for turn 2. So, looking at the Imperial activations first, we're going to start with this lightning going up against this Barracuda. He's in medium range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and he's fully in the front arc. And if he can knock him out, that'll help protect this other lightning. So 2 las cannon shots, they're at the same altitude, needing 5s to hit and 2s to damage. Oh, it's teasing me. And he will hit once. So on a 2 he damages, and a 6 he does an extra damage, which could shoot down the Barracuda. There you go, a 6. So that'll take out the Barracuda with 2 damage. And now the Imperials are ahead 2 aircraft to 1. So the only Tau activation, seeing as we're down to just 1 aircraft, we'll have this Barracuda shooting at this lightning. So railgun first, needing 5s to hit, 2 plus to damage, and 6s do extra damage. And railguns miss once again. Missile pods, we get 3 missiles at this range, again needing 5s to hit, 4s to damage. Oh, it likes to tease. And after all that, we only get no hits. I'm going to take a chance, and I think I'm going to try to protect my tailing arc and shoot at this lightning coming up behind me. So 3 shots with the burst cannon, 5s and 5s. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's at short range. That would only give, the burst cannons can't shoot at that range. So I'm just going to go back to, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can shoot that other one that's behind me. So let's do that instead. So burst cannon shots onto this lightning. 5s and 5s. 1 hit. Please, please damage. And wouldn't you know, I rolled a 4. That's it for the Tau this turn. So here we go with the next activation. We're going to have this lightning firing at the Barracuda. Again, his front arc bisects the Barracuda, so he does get to shoot his 4 guns. So with las cannons, same altitude, 5s to hit, 2s to damage, 6 for extra damage. And this is unreal. Well, the 4 does nothing, but the 6 does 2 damage points, and that shoots down the last Tau aircraft. So that's it. There are no more opponents on the field. It's time to end the game. Oh, well, that was pretty fast. Possibly one of the shortest games of Aeronautica I've ever played. So the mission started off great for the Tau, with the Tau getting the first kill in the first turn. Tau pilot Bravo shot down Lieutenant Carmen in Lightning Strike Fighter number 3. Sadly, the Aircast pilot was shot down himself by Lieutenant Brandon in Lightning number 2 that very same turn. In fact, the very next activation. The Tau caused no other damage to the Imperials other than 1 Lightning Strike Fighter shot down in turn 1. That lightning sadly was shot down by secondary weapons only. None of the primary weapons hit, which was embarrassing, especially when you considered in turn 1 the second railgun armed Barracuda got 2 hits and then rolled double 1s on the railgun. That was truly frustrating. In turn 2, the remaining 2 Tau Barracudas were shot down, one of which was destroyed before it even had a chance to shoot. While the other Tau pilot successfully got aircraft into the sights, it just failed to hit no matter what with all 3 weapons. So none of the pilots survived, none of the Tau pilots survived. That's why the Tau chart is all red, indicating death, as well as Lieutenant Carmen appearing in the Imperial List. The worst thing for the Tau is that they have no pilots with any experience now and are basically starting from scratch for the next mission. On the Imperial side, I was worried the regular Lightning fighters armed with only las cannons would have a bad time, only having 2 shots per turn. However, they were the ones that actually shot down all the Tau flyers. None of the other multi-laser Lightnings did any damage. So Imperials will win the first battle in 2 turns, 92 victory points to 25. So in the Imperial Squadron List, you can see we have 3 surviving pilots highlighted in green. Also of note, Lieutenant Arberg made 1 kill and Lieutenant Brandon made 2 kills. So both these pilots are on a decent start toward the 5-kill ace goal and their first ace skill. Lieutenant Arberg, Lieutenant Brandon, and Lieutenant Duggold all need one more mission to qualify as a squadron ace. This will give each of them a free reroll once per mission and the ability to bail out of an aircraft if shot down, and if they're lucky and roll a 6. We now have a new pilot, Lieutenant Morden, highlighted in orange. As I'm making no changes to the fighter he's taking, it will be available next turn or mission as a straight attrition replacement. No changes in configuration, no extra costs, so no delays in deployment. So for the TOW, we have some new attrition replacements as well, and with no changes to the aircraft, so there's no delays in deployment. All the TOW replacements are highlighted in orange in our chart, and our new TOW pilots are Kovratau Fa Stro, Kovrata Gulf, and these are all in the railgun armed Barracudas. Meanwhile, we have Kovrata Tal in the burst cannon armed Barracuda. I know my names aren't very original. If you think real hard, it's not hard to tell where I got them from. So the biggest disappointment for me in this game was I had hoped to have at least one aircraft on each side make it off the table so they could act as squadron leaders. Unfortunately for the TOW fighters, they all got hit and folded in one volley from one aircraft. They never had a chance to disengage at all. This has been fairly consistent. I'm not superstitious, but I may have to replace my TOW dice. So that's it for this mission. Next mission will be the Breakthrough mission, again from the Skies of Fire starter scenario pamphlet. We'll need to see if the Imperials can continue to reign supreme or whether the TOW can make up for such a dismal showing and do some sort of a comeback this time. Meanwhile, with everything that's going out there in the world, you be careful out there and good gaming.